Welcome to this special edition of HDC's COVID-19 Response podcast series. My name is Taylor Staines.
And I'm Catherine Ross.
Just a note, we will be practicing social distancing whilst recording this podcast from our own separate homes. During this series, we will be talking to Harborough District Council staff to find out what they have been doing during the COVID-19 pandemic to help the community. During this time of unprecedented crisis due to COVID-19, the services of our food banks are needed now more than ever. The most vulnerable people in our communities, who were already struggling, have now faced further challenges due to the pandemic. Since the pandemic begun, Lutterworth Food Bank have seen almost 100% increase in the number of 3-day food parcels they have distributed across our two centres in Lutterworth and Countersthorpe, in comparison to the same time last year. We also have the Jubilee Food Bank that was set up in 2012 that is run entirely by volunteers who selfishly give up hours of their time to ensure they can support local people in food crisis. They continue to do just that in 2020 and have seen a large increase in demand since launching. Today we're speaking to Emma, one of the volunteers at the Jubilee Food Bank. Hi Emma.
Hi.
So what is it that you've been doing during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, we've continued to do what we always do, which is to provide food for those families and individuals in Market Harborough and some surrounding villages who are in food crisis. The pandemic has meant that we have had to change our working practices considerably. And of course, the number of people we are helping has increased hugely. So we've been extremely busy. To give you some background, normal procedure for us at the food bank is to have a rota of frontline volunteers who will each have the food bank mobile phone for one business day each during the month. If a client is in need of food, he or she will go to a local referring agency such as Harborough District Council or the Citizens Advice Bureau, who will take their details. The agency will then call the confidential food bank mobile phone number to request food from the frontline volunteer. This volunteer takes the food to the referring agency, who then passes it on to the client. Clearly, once lockdown came, this process was simply unworkable. This is where Harborough District Council stepped in.
That's great. So you've definitely been a lot busier since the pandemic. How have you been working with the council to ensure residents of Harborough have the supplies they need?
Well, with the council offices shut and with our need for people to deliver food, it became apparent that a solution could be found using the help of council staff, which was fantastic. In a very short space of time, our management committee, and particularly our chairperson, organised with the help of the council a rota of drivers from the council to collect food from our local food store and to distribute it to those in need.
Oh, that's great. It's great that you could get everything organised so quickly and in a safe way. So how do you think your role has benefited the community?
We've received lots of positive feedback from the community regarding our service via newspaper reports, social media, our website and emails. And I believe that where there is a need for food, we have a role to play. Hopefully anyone in Market Harborough who is in food crisis knows that we will be able to support them and supply them with food.
Brilliant. Thank you for talking to me today, Emma.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
So I'm now here speaking to Lucy, the manager at Lutterworth Food Bank. Hi, Lucy.
Hi there. Hi.
So what is it that you've been doing during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay, so we're Lutterworth and Villages Food Bank, part of the Trussell Trust network of food banks. We're a project of St Mary's Church in Lutterworth, and we've been continuing the service we set up in partnership with the community in 2014 to support those referred to as in financial crisis with emergency food and supplies. Since the pandemic, we've adapted our operation to become a delivery-only service where the frontline referral agencies can come and collect the food parcels for their clients. We've worked with local agencies to adopt new processes, such as using online e-referrals to ensure they can access our services as easily as possible, and that we can carry on supporting the ever-growing number of clients safely. We're really thankful for the partnership with other local organisations too, whose volunteers have supported our operation, such as the Lutterworth Community Transport Team and Lutterworth Crisis Action Team. Our volunteers have adapted amazingly to the new streamlined arrangements, and many of our usual team of over 60 volunteers have had to temporarily step down from volunteering with us due to the virus. But our small team of remaining volunteers have gone above and beyond, as always, to ensure that our operation runs just as smoothly as it always did, and while ensuring we've been able to work within the government and Trussell Trust guidance. We've been absolutely overwhelmed with the offers of volunteering support from members of the community too.
So how have you been working with the council to ensure residents of Harborough have the supplies they need?
So Harborough District Council have been fantastic and supported us in the first 3 months of the crisis by providing a team of redeployed staff as drivers to deliver the food parcels to some of our clients whose referral agencies are not field-based and therefore have been unable to deliver them themselves. The team have collected parcels from our distribution point and have dropped them off at the doorsteps of our clients in need and provided them with a welcome relief from their situation. We've worked with Harborough District Council and also alongside Jubilee Food Bank as part of the community hub in order to provide support for those in the Harborough District who've not had enough money to provide food for their families during this crisis.
Oh, brilliant. So how do you think your role has benefited the community?
Well, since lockdown began on the 23rd of March, we've provided the equivalent of over 7,500 meals to local people in crisis, and 50% of those were for children. To put that in perspective, that's over a third of the number of meals we've provided in the whole of last year. And without our help, we know that those families would have struggled to make ends meet. Parents would have gone without food, debts would have been incurred, and mental health problems increased. By providing the basics, we've offered a breathing space to our clients so that they can more effectively deal with the crisis that faces them. So this crisis really has shone a light on the fragility of our support systems in this country and many of the people in our communities who struggle to make ends meet day to day. We've seen an outpouring of support from our communities, and while that support is crucial as we face these next few uncertain months, ultimately providing the food parcels isn't a long-term solution to the problem. Since we opened in 2014, we've been fortunate to have been generously supported by our communities, and we hope that this support will continue in the form of raised awareness of the plight of those in our communities who struggle to feed their families and to press for policy change. For more information, please do visit our website, which is lutterworthvillages.foodbank.org.uk, or the Trussell Trust website, which is trusselltrust.org, to see how we can all help to change our world for the better.
Well, thank you for talking to me today about this. It's really great work that you've been doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to this podcast in this series. If you have any questions about anything that we've discussed today, please email communications@harborough.gov.uk. Thanks very much.
Don't forget to stay alert, control the virus and save lives.